bench day. November 8th. We do some warm-ups with a dumbbell bench, 25 or 20 pounds for 25 reps, inverted row, 40 pounds for 20 reps, and then head bangers, 10 pounds for 20 reps. And then went on to the bench press. It was warmed up to like a heavy single where it's not a max, but it's getting pretty close to a max where it starts to really slow down when you start pushing it. So we worked up to that. We did 155 for 10, 225 for 3, 265 for 1, 295 for 1, and then 330 for 1 rep. And then we dropped right down without taking any rest, just enough to change the weights. Did 315 for 1, 265 for 7, I think, 245 for 7, 225 for 10, pretty sure, and then a 3 count where you pulse on the bottom, 205 for a total of 4 reps, which would be like 12 but then close grip bench, you did 155 for 10 with no rest drop set. Then we went up to 195 for the no rest drop set, and I'm not sure how many reps each one of them I got. It doesn't really matter as long as you're just pushing to where each one's almost to go to failure. And then we did incline bench. On them I did 10, 9, 8, I'm pretty sure. And then dips, a drop set, 50, 25, and then body weight. And like I said, I have no idea what the reps are. Just go to each one to where you can't do no more. The reps really don't matter. But there you go. 225.
He said, yeah, let's go for it. I listening to Eric, and Eric is always pretty sharp guy. We're very lucky to have him as our congressman. Made a really good point of he has been paid for, and he lives
265.
And times are tough. You can't just buy a plane ticket and get over here. You don't know when your next paycheck's going to come. And so it's a real thing happening to real people, and we need strong leadership there. But we're going to take our final break of the hour. You're listening to 5. That's the full version
295
of his interview with CBS. He did not pick Leslie Saul this time. He went with the O'Donnell lady. She created mortgage fraud by stating that her father was her husband on loan documents. She signed a document saying that her father was her husband.
330.
That
One,
Speaker of the House, Nancy
2,
Pelosi has announced that she will not win the election for the great city of San Francisco.
I feel like we need some sad violin music. Maybe I'll do that post-production.
For Nancy, Miss Pelosi.
315.
They actually, you don't settle a case like that
2,
with that amount of money. If you didn't screw up. They'd be like, you caught us. You caught us.
265.
State of the Union, where she is ripping up the president's speech, and she does that little clap in his face move. She is just a nasty woman, nasty woman, and she will not be missed here on All Out Loud. Good enough, but
245.
Studios. It's now 10 o'clock.
The Justice Department has issued a flurry of subpoenas related to the U.S. government's inquiry into alleged Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. The grand jury subpoenas issued out of the Southern District of Florida seek guidance.
205 for 3 count.
KSGF-FM, Asheville, Springfield, and 1260 AM, KSGF, Springfield. This is your home for Town Hall SRN News. This is Springfield's Talk 1041.
Well, we got a piece of weekend weather with flash. It's going to be nice for Saturday. When temperatures will climb to the upper 60s. Will be windy and change around. Temperatures on Sunday.
Close grip drop set, no rest, just enough to switch the weights out.
Because not everybody keeps track of
This is starting with
Not
195.
everybody realizes that they may indeed have family members buried there. Because we lose track. So my grandfather and grandmother are buried there, and then in a different section, in a different section, his grandfather is buried there as well. And so, I always think, so this is your grandpa's grandfather,
That is really, really cool.
Yeah, and I think it's hard for us to understand where we're going if we don't know where we came from.
Yes, I agree with you.
And so this is a really good way to make that connection for future generations.
How many wreaths do you guys lay out there?
Well, we try to do as many as we can. There's over 14,000 tombstones. We've been hovering around 8,000 that we've been able to put out, and it's not for lack of manpower. And the average
175, close grip.
So you're talking about $70,000-$80,000 every year, and we rely, like everybody else, on the generosity of individuals. And we have some individuals that help, and that's great. And we want to continue to have and brought a couple bucks and dumped it in the bucket and said, hey, we want to help, or we want to help them out. It's also really important after the first year we have to pick them up. And that requires a lot. We have fewer people than we have to put them out because it's not as much pageantry. But it's a lot of work, and we do what we have to do with the number of people that participate. But it's truly there's a lot of pomp and circumstance that surround the traditions, the flags and the cannon and everything that goes on. And
155, close grip.
Jim Garrison sang the national anthem in years past. He does a fantastic job. And veterans, families, descendants of those within the cemetery, everybody coming together and makes it all possible. And it's a really cool thing that Springfield does.
So if somebody's listening and they're like, hey, I got a couple bucks, I'm going to get a wreath or two out there. How do people do that?
Tony is our certified marketing specialist. She
155
also does
again.
So she has this really beautiful and unique perspective to bring to every session. So Tony, maybe can I put that question over to her a little bit too? You're in these sessions with veterans every week. What do you see? Why horses?
Horses have an innate ability to serve veterans specifically, I think, because as vets, we are very and strong and have difficulties being able to say, I may need help. And so the horse.
Okay, dips drop set. Go 50, 25. Huh? Oh, hello. I wasn't sure who was talking to me. I was talking. Go 50, 25, and then body weight. Here we go. $25. Body weight.